It's time for another episode of the Hunt for Red Boxtober. In this third episode, I'll pull another 8 PS3 greatest hits from the collection. A mixture of recent pickups and ones that I've had for a while. And let's talk about them, including how hard it might be to find these in the wild, what the prices could be, and if the title is projected to increase in value anytime soon. The first is ModNation Racers. This is a common title, and this one kind of blows my mind when it comes to speculating because you can find this all day, every day for $10 at conventions and game stores, but go online and it's averaging $18 right now. You know, almost 2 times what it regularly goes for a common title. Do not buy these. Support your local game store and pay the $10. Really, anything over $12 is just gouging, because if you look at trending over the past 3 or 4 years, the price has stayed consistently between $9 and $10, and I expect this game to continue to go on for about $10 in the foreseeable future. And you should not make a special order to pick this one up. Assassin's Creed Revelations is a pretty common game, but the greatest hits variant is super rare. It's not impossible to find, don't misunderstand me here, but if you find a copy in the wild, I would probably pick it up. This is definitely a copy I would try to get my hands on from online sources if you can, but all that being said, it's not that expensive. In the last 4 years, it has doubled in price, but still, you can expect to pay around $10 to $12 for this. I do expect this to continue to increase though as supply dries up for this specific variant. Keep your eyes peeled. Next is Hitman Absolution, and this one is rare. And it's a great example of how a lot of resellers don't understand the greatest hits. Maybe one of the most obvious examples actually. The regular version of the game can be found for roughly $10 all day, give or take a couple. The greatest hits is typically twice that. It had a late print run near the end of the PS3 greatest hits cycle, and these greatest hits that are done toward the end of 2012 or 2013 are often harder to find as people were saving up for their PS4 or just not enthused about the PS3 anymore at the end of its lifespan. It's a double-edged sword because you can find this for $10, but it's fairly uncommon to find it to begin with, and it's been consistently selling for about $20 too. So if the seller really knows what they're doing and they understand that the greatest hits variant is rare compared to a much more common regular version, then it's probably going to be priced higher. So given all of that, expect to pay between $10 and $20 for this title. I mean, I really hate to give such a large range, but it is what it is. And I don't see it increasing in the near future. Oh, and this also does not contain a manual, so feel free to pick up any copies that you find without it, or maybe just insert a manual from the regular copy if you really want one. Army of Two: The 40th Day is a rare PS3 greatest hits title to find, especially in relation to the first Army of Two game, which can be found virtually anywhere. And when I say rare, remember, I'm not saying it's insanely hard to find. I'm just saying you might go months or even years without seeing it, but you should eventually find it. Even with that, it's still priced about the same, and you can expect to find a copy for $10 to $12 in game stores or conventions where it's held roughly the same value for the past few years. Online, though, is another story. These uncommon and rare PS3 greatest hits copies go for almost twice of the amount that you might find them in person. Don't pay those prices. Let's keep the prices low by not having FOMO pricing. I hate that inflates the price charting, which then can cause local game stores to increase their pricing. I'd target this for an in-person pickup, even though it might take you a while, and snag it for the first time you see it for probably around $10. The next PS3 greatest hit is Tekken 6, and this is about as common can get. It's all over the place, and it's found in just about every location that sells a PS3 game for some reason. It's one of the few games that has trended down in price, and you can find it at game stores or conventions for about $10. I would not target this specifically for immediate purchase, as I expect it to hover around $10 for the foreseeable future too. However, this doesn't mean it's not a good candidate to pick up online, as it's going for roughly $10 there too. So the choice is yours on how you might want to acquire this one, but one thing's for sure is that it's not going to be a rare title anytime soon. Here we have Battlefield Bad Company. And the Bad Company games are pretty good in terms of story, but they're also really popular being Battlefield series of games. So does that have any impact on the difficulty to obtain a copy of the Greatest Hits version? Believe it or not, this one borders on the uncommon side. It's certainly not hard to find, and there are plenty out there, but it's not likely to be at every store that carries a general selection of PS3 Greatest Hits. Bad Company 2, on the other hand, that one's everywhere. But the original Bad Company is pretty much an $8 game all day, and the price has been holding steady and flat for a long time, other than a couple of random spikes here or there. I definitely wouldn't go out of my way hunting for it, but if you do, you can expect to pay about 50% more online for it than you might at a local game store or a convention. LEGO Indiana Jones 2: The Adventure Continues. It's a Greatest Hits game that is far easier to find than the original LEGO Indiana Jones Greatest Hits on PS3, and as a result, it also has about a 33% cheaper price, assuming the seller doesn't know the original is actually super rare for a Greatest Hits. You can expect to pay about $10 for this game at any general game store or a convention, and while it is common, it might not be at every single store the way that other titles could be found. I run across this one pretty regularly though. Definitely don't make any special plans to pick this one up. If you find it for $10 or less, you might as well, unless you're short on cash, in which I would definitely prioritize another item. And how much is it online? You guessed it, about 60 to 100% more. I think some folks think that they actually found the actual Ark of the Covenant for what they're asking for this common title here. The last PS3 Greatest Hits title that I want to talk about today is Portal 2. And this is a very common title, and it hovers around $10. I've seen it for $8, I've seen it for $12, but it hovers around $10. And I don't typically fret too much in a difference like that. It's not really indicative of a trend, nor is it indicative of gouging or signaling that the industry is doomed, as some folks like to say, if it's not exactly $10. Again, a common trend here, we're seeing roughly 50% increased prices online for this, so it's closer to $15 to $16 per copy there. It's a great game, don't get me wrong, the Portal games are amazing, but you're statistically likely to come across a Greatest Hits copy in person without too much trouble. Hey, another 8 have come and gone. The PS3 Greatest Hits library is pretty big. I believe it's about 166 titles in total. And if there's anything that I've learned from doing this series now from the 20 or so that we've analyzed, it's that the prices in person are often priced roughly the same as the black box variants, and that the prices online are 50 to 100% more. I get it, you might be paying for the convenience of someone to find it for you and the time they take to ship it, and I will also caution you that while I have found the majority of these copies in person, those that I bought online, well, they're like, their definition of what excellent condition is, or very good condition, is often limited to the disc itself and not the case, and the cover art, or the manual. Even when we're just talking about the disc, I made a purchase online where the disc had a tiny scratch on it, but the installation could not get past 78%. So getting in good with local game stores, where they thoroughly test, they know what you're looking for, possibly have a better return policy without hassle. There's a ton of benefits to the local game store experience to where I feel the pricing could almost flip, and I'd still recommend shopping in person. As always, thanks for joining me on this journey on Let's Build a Collection. I'm having a lot of fun with this series, and I really hope that some of you are too.